Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So this one, as you can see from the title, is about the fights that happened the previous week. The one with Ryan Garcia and the one with Efe Ajagba and Martin Bakole, and the one with Devin Haney as well. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people are saying Efe Ajagba easily won that fight with Mark Bakole, but the reality is, I went back and watched the fight, and there's quite a few rounds where he started to not do that good, and Efe looked like he was hurt in a few moments. So I think it was a very close fight, and probably he should have won overall. But he didn't do enough, and he is, I would say, a smaller name than what Bakole is, based on the fact that Bakole has been making a lot of noise in the boxing world by talking about all the people he's beaten in sparring and all the other stuff. But ultimately, Efe should have sealed the deal. He should have had a higher work rate and more head movement, and he should have just took Mark Bakole out. So now there's questions about, you know, his power. And then if you flip to the Ryan Garcia fight, once he got dropped in the second round, he was so gun shy. He tried to throw the left hook a few times, but his right hand was null and void. Sorry for yawning, I've just been all day long taking the kids to the zoo. But anyway, yeah, he didn't have any right hand whatsoever. It's like he was injured, it's like he was scared to throw it. And that, as for the Devin Haney fight, I feel like I don't even need to comment on that. It was terrible, and it was boring. Which many people say Devin Haney fights are boring because it seems like he never really wants to get in a true dust-up. Probably the most exciting fight that Devin Haney has ever had was when he actually lost to Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia's performance was so terrible that a lot of people are going to say, see, that's what happens when he doesn't take performance-enhancing drugs. And I can't really disagree. I mean, he just looked like a different fighter. So gun-shy, very slow, very scared to get in a gunfight. This didn't even really make sense. But my biggest gripe about the boxing, especially considering how the atmosphere was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, when Chris Eubank fought Conor Benn, is the crowd. Madison Square Garden in Vegas used to be two of the biggest places that you could go to box. And the atmosphere was electric. You had a ton of famous people in the crowd, and everyone was interested. And to be honest with you, I don't remember it being like that since Mike Tyson. And then after Mike Tyson, AJ, aka Anthony Joshua, has been the next one to bring the big names and the famous people into the seats. But let's be honest, and I've been saying it to my friends over here, the Saudi crowd is okay, but it's very quiet. The American crowd sucks. Absolutely sucks. You guys are terrible as far as boxing fans. No one's hyped up. These were big fights. They were big fights. And no one was hyped up for it. The entrances were kind of like, man, whatever. Wasn't that hyped. The crowd was just so lame, so dead. Even Ryan Garcia said it was really weird because he could hear all the voices in the crowd and hear different fighters saying stuff in the background because it was just so quiet in there, and it was so sectioned off. It was as if it was COVID all over again. I don't know why they did that. Meanwhile, across the pond in England, where was it? Was it at Wembley or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? You got Conor Benn and Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank Jr., fighting a non-title fight. First time Conor Benn's fought back in England in like 3 years, and the crowd was absolutely wild. The crowd was crazy. The crowd was loud. The crowd was exciting. The ring walks were sick. The intros were sick. Chris Eubank Sr. showed up. Boom! He pops his leg out of the Rolls Royce. Everyone goes wild. And then on top of all the hype, the actual fight itself, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. It was brilliant. It was lovely. I'm begging you, American boxers, pull your heads out your asses. American fans, pull your head out your asses. You've been the worst crowd and you've been the worst boxers for years now. Years. Forget Deontay Wilder holding the belt. He never fought anyone. He fought bums the whole time. Except for the Cuban guy. Maybe he's from Puerto Rico. But Sanchez, is it Sanchez or Ruiz or something like that? Forgot his name. But the truth is, the moment he fought anyone decent, aka Zhang, aka Parker, aka Fury, he got busted big time. He's absolutely not a good fighter. Jared Anderson went up to fight Bakole. What happened? Dusted right away. Bam! Smacked up. I mean, no competition whatsoever. We gotta be honest. Even in the days of Mike Tyson and Holyfield, the person who sat at the top of the heap was Lennox Lewis, and he was a British fighter. Since then, we've had more fighters dominating, aka AJ had 3 of the 4 major belts, aka Daniel Dubois, major belt, Tyson Fury, major belts, and the other side of the world that was dominating, Ukraine. Not just Alexander Usyk, but also Vladimir Klitschko dominated for years, and his brother, who was actually a better fighter, he just retired earlier, Vitaly Klitschko, was also a beast. So most of the main heavyweight fighters, I'm not talking about the lightweights, I'm talking about the big boys, it's been dominated by Ukraine, England. Ukraine, England. America, come on, give me some good fighters so I can talk about them, so I can get hyped up about them. Please, please, please. I'm begging. Let's get some good ones. That's the fighter side. As for the fans, look, you can't be fair with the fans. You need to support your boxers no matter what. They go through hell for your entertainment. Please support your American fighters so that they feel like they've got the country's backing, that when they come into England's backyard or when they go into Ukraine's backyard, they don't feel like they're on an island by themselves. You need to support them. You need to be a much louder, much more responsive crowd. And with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm about to get my Dairy Queen ice cream, and I'll see you in the next video.